Hey everyone, and welcome to some premiere drafts in Crimson Vow. I did one premiere draft off camera to just get a sense of what it's like a little bit. I got a bomb rare in my deck, and that basically carried me a lot, so I'm still not sure how this format works too well, but I hear that blood tokens, just from watching it, blood tokens are a lot more valuable than you'll expect. Just the ability to mill away lands is very powerful. We're also kind of low because the next set happened. It's now Silver Tier 4, so I have a lot of climbing to do, which means I shouldn't have too much trouble going up in ranks. So, hopefully it's pretty easy, hopefully we do well, all that sort of stuff. Let us begin. As always, we just try to learn the format, we try to figure it out. Because this is new for a lot of people, I'm going to try to read through the cards to the best of my ability. But given that it's Premiere Draft, I will only have a minute or so to make my pick. So, I will try to walk through my understanding, but generally speaking, alright. We have a Mythic, a 5 mana 4/4. When it attacks, it deals 1 damage to target creature, target player, and target planeswalker. It's and or at the end there. And it has Menace and Haste, so it gets to attack the turn it comes into play, and it's a lot harder to block, and you get to kill off the creature with 1 health, so that can't even help them block. When it flips over, it gets +1/+1, and that 1 damage on everything becomes 2 damage on everything. Bomb Mythic. So, looks like we want red. We're hoping that the Voldaren Epicure makes it back around, because I don't think the Vampire Vengeance is coming back around. I don't think the Falcorath Celebrants is coming back around. Celebrants might make it back around. How's it going, Lambo Droid? Glad to have you here. Just doing a draft, try to go through. Fierce Retribution is pretty nice as a kill spell. Felsinger is great as card draw and a death touch creature. Diver's Scab basically allows you to push tempo as it knocks a creature back to their library. Flourishing Hunter won't be bad. Evolving Wilds would also be nice to see. But Volatile Arcanist as just this big mythic 5 mana, I turn the corner, win the game. I can't not pick Volatile Arcanist. Alright. Voldaren Estates. This is actually a pretty decent land if you're in the Vampires deck, but I don't think we're there yet. Hero's Downfall. So they picked an uncommon that wasn't Hero's Downfall. Hero's Downfall is just a destroy target creature or planeswalker. Straightforward kill spell. Pretty awesome. Blood Hypnotist stays in our colors, but this requires a lot of blood tokens. This is kind of fits in any vampire deck. The one thing we have is a werewolf. A Braid's great. Not going to deny a Braid's great, but I always go with the best card whatever possible. I think Hero's Downfall is the best card. A Braid is the only other consideration I could think of, because it deals 3 damage or destroys target artifact. It is cheaper, and it is in the color we know we're probably going to be in. But I am on the grounds that you always go with the open colors. And we do have 2 Flourishing Hunters coming around if we end up going green. That is very powerful. 2 Flourishing Hunters is enough to just be the entire top end of a deck. 3, that you're good. I'm going to go with the best cards. The double color definitely is costly, but I think it's okay. Edgar's Awakening is fine. With blood tokens, it's a free card reanimation. So it's 5 mana, return a creature card from my graveyard to the battlefield. Return a Volatile Arsonist for 5 is perfectly happy. If you discard it, you may pay 1 and return a creature from a graveyard to your hand, which means with blood tokens there's value, and we would be in black-red. We are most likely in black-red, which is where blood tokens are usually made. Otherwise, there's a Diagraph Scavenger, which is great. You get an exile card to the opponent's graveyard, then each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. And then otherwise it's a 4 mana 2/3 Death Toucher. I hear that this card overperforms. I would not be surprised. Bride's Gown is just 2 mana, equipped creature gets +2/+0. The additional effect requires a specific other uncommon card of 2 different colors. We have to be precisely black-white. It's just not worth it. Unhallowed Phalanx, funny little card, we're not getting it. Get the Fanes would be pretty nice to come back around. Alright. So, the only cards our colors are End of the Festivities, which is 1 damage to each opponent and each creature. Not really that good. Unhallowed Phalanx, 1/13, comes to play tapped, so it's not even a fast blocker. Neither of these cards are really where I want to be. Late to Rest is good for human deck, but you have to be specifically human deck. It's kind of just a consideration. So it looks like we have more black. If we're not red, we did see 2 Flourishing Hunters. I'm not sure how highly people pick that, so I'm happy to be green, but I would be red-green and not humans. So the question is, do I pick up the Retrieve as it's a good card? Do I pick up the Evolving Wilds to guarantee colors? Evolving Wilds just basically gets me the color, the out of the color I want. I'm going to grab the Evolving Wilds. Just, it's much more likely to make it my deck. This is more graveyard hate. I might be the one with the graveyard, so I'm going to decline on that. Weary Prisoner, 4-mana, 2/6 Defender. I'd just rather have a Diagraph Scavenger over that. So it's the question of the Hungry Ridgewolf, the Belligerent Guest. It just feels like a 3-mana 3/2. Doesn't really feel that devastating. Ridgewolf could work if we ended up being green. I'm going to pick the Scavenger for now, because this is just always a good card. This is just always a good card. Right now, we have a lot of good value cards. Edgar's Awakening, bringing back a Diagraph Scavenger. I am happy to see it. Obviously, Volatile Arsonist would be fantastic. And yeah, I think we are looking at, if we're not red-black, we're probably black-green or red-green. Well, actually, with all the black we've been getting. Yeah, so with this black, Mind Leech Ghoul, really it's just a 2-mana 2/2. That's how I'm going to look at it, because its exploit cost is just too expensive. A third Flourishing Hunter, or a Grisly Ritual. Rottide Gargantuan is pretty nice. It exploits a creature, but we have a lot of top end, and Grisly Ritual would just be more top end. So I could either pick the Flourishing Hunter, say that more Flourishing Hunters are coming around and Edgar's Awakening on them is going to be insane. Or I pick the Grisly Ritual and say it's a slow kill spell, but it's a kill spell. I say because we have Evolving Wilds and the red's just not coming, I think I'm going to go with the Flourishing Hunter. There are some packs behind me. We had 2 Flourishing Hunters in the packs before. If one of those make it back, which there's already one here, I think we're going to go green. Volatile Arsonist is great, but we are not getting the support. We have some good black cards, and now we're getting a whole roundhouse of Flourishing Hunters alongside Edgar's Awakening, which will give us an amazing late-game deck. Ragged Recluse, we still don't have blood tokens. We would like it, but if we don't get blood tokens, it's just a 2-mana 2/1. Late game, it becomes a 3/3 that one attacks, they lose a life, and I gain a life, but not going to happen too often. This is more for a black-white or black-red, and it looks like we're about to be black-green. My doggo just came in to say hi. How's it going, doggo? Laid to rest, we don't have any humans other than the Volatile Arsonist. So you can't see it, but there's my dog right here. I'm not sure if you can. She's starting to shove her way into my arm, so you might see her. I don't think this is where we want to be. I'd rather pick Honored Heirloom over Nature's Embrace. At least it has some taking care. It's mana ramp while actually taking care of some other things by exiling cards in graveyards. Wow, Vampire's Vengeance made it around. Nonetheless, third Flourishing Hunter gives me all the late game I will need. Alright. So now I think we commit to the late game Flourishing Hunter strategy. So the question is Voldaren Estate any good? We have 0 vampires, and Mind Leech Ghoul, as I said, it's just a 2-drop, but it's a 2-drop, and right now that's what we're lacking. We have a ton of late game. So yeah, Flourishing Hunter is a 6-mana 6/6 that then, it's based on toughness, so I'm actually going to pick this Unhauled Phalanx. We're going to send this Volatile Arsonist over here. It's a 1/13. While it can't block the turn it comes to play, I play Unhauled Phalanx into one of my 3 Flourishing Hunters. I gain 13 life, because it's life equal to the toughness of the next biggest creature. And yeah, let's get a second Unhauled Phalanx. We are now the black-green deck, happily. Because we saw those rotating around. Yeah, I'm going to sideboard this Crushing Canopy. I heard someone say that is main deckable. I don't believe them, but I'm going to put that there anyways. Oh my god. Okay, so Ancient Lumberknot is basically a 4-mana 4/4 that turns these Unhauled Phalanxes into 5-mana 13/13s. That being said, Glorious Sunrise, I've seen this be a bomb card. So it acts as super ramp with a target land. It acts as card draw. It acts as life gain. I think we're picking Glorious Sunrise and hoping Lumberknot rotates back around, because I think this card's going to win me the game more often. Because I might not put these Unhauled Phalanx into play. The Sunrise, I play it no matter what, gains me 3 life, I'm happy. This card, it might not do what it needs to do. So I'm picking the Glorious Sunrise, but the Ancient Lumberknots, using toughness instead of power. As I said, 2 Unhauled Phalanx, 3 Flourishing Hunters. This Edgar's Awakening, like, we have the big booty deck, but we have to pick the Glorious Sunrise because I think it is just the better card. Flourishing Hunter is good enough as a payoff for my Unhauled Phalanxes. I'd rather just pick the better card on general and hope that rotates back around. Alright, so now we need some early game. Ragged Recluse isn't really what we're looking for. Dreadfuge can help us rip out their early game. Otherwise, Gift of Fanes could give them -2/-2. But if they're a vampire deck, it sucks to be me, because there are vampire decks running around, and we do not have vampires ourselves. Reptile Gargantua, I think we're done with top end. I think with 3 Flourishing Hunters, we are done with top end. So, I think, yeah, we're pretty committed to just amazing black cards, amazing green cards. So, Dreadfuge, I guess so. We actually don't have much green. We just only have green where... We might actually be splash green. We might... Like, it's double splash, so it's pretty expensive. But our first green card comes into play at 5 mana. So, we might just be basically a black deck splashing green. Or we could get cards that suggest we stay. Angelic Quartermaster, Wash Away, pretty fine. I'm going to grab the Weaver of Blossoms. It's a nice little body. It adds mana, which right now, adding mana is where I want to be, because I have a bunch of late game cards that want that mana. So I'm going to pick the Weaver of Blossoms here. Otherwise, Courier Bats, not bad. If I could have been Angelic Quartermaster, is an amazing card. Flyer, 5 mana, 3/3 flyer, that's sometimes good enough. That puts +1/+1 counters on other creatures. That's fantastic. We will definitely need something to deal with flyers. Grolnok, suggesting that I use my Evolving Wilds to get more of that. I don't think so. So it's either Diagraph Scavenger as more life gain through that, as well as a Death Toucher, or Apprentice Sharpshooter. We actually have okay on turn 3, so I'm going to go with a 4-drop. Flourishing Hunter, I think 3 is enough. I'm happy to get a 4th one if it rotates all the way back. With the Evolving Wilds and the Honored Heirloom and the Weaver of Blossoms, I can see a Grolnok in the future. But this is more, you need self-mill before this card becomes good. This isn't good on its own. It doesn't have any frog synergy. Sorry, so, whenever a frog attacks, mill 3 cards. Whenever a permanent is put to your graveyard from your library, it basically goes into your hand, is basically how I would say it. Alright. Do I pick the Sporeback Wolf because it's a 2/2, or do I rig the Dreadfuge because it's not a 2/2 but rips out a card? I think... I think Sporeback's slightly better because it works with Flourishing Hunter, and it's still the 2-drop, which I need 2 drops. We have a single 2-drop and Dreadfuge, and it's not a good 2-drop. It's just a 2/2. So I think we go with a Sporeback Wolf, even though it's not very good, because I can't really afford to do other feats. Dreadfuge, it's cool, but there are times where it will miss, where they have a 3-drop. I don't want to pay 3 to do 3 for nothing. But yeah, Catapult Fodder, great with my Unhallowed Phalanxes. It's also a 3-mana 1/5, which helps slow the game down. Most of my creatures have more toughness than power. Like, the one exception is Flourishing Hunter, which wants high toughness amongst my creatures anyways. So, yeah, I'm liking this deck. Pick 9, we might be able to get our card back. Dying to Serve works if you have a bunch of blood tokens. It makes 2/2 black zombies whenever you discard a card. This would be fantastic in the future, but Catapult Fodder is unfortunately where we are. Alright. So here's the question. Apprentice Sharpshooter as just basically a 3-mana 1/4 with Reach. The training isn't going to trigger too much with us, I don't think. Or Vampire's Kicks just to get us some blood tokens and gain a little life. I'm going to go with a Sharpshooter, but this is definitely a tough one. I don't really see the Lantern being too good in Limited, especially Best of 1, which is where we are. And the rest are not in our colors. This just creates a blood token. That might have been playable, actually, but... Alright. Pick 8, Sheltering Boughs. I'm actually kind of... So, we have so many 3-drops. We have 5 3-drops, and most of them are creatures, right? 1, 2, 3. Alright, 3 creatures. So it's either Desperate Farmer or it's Dreadfuge. I'm hovering over Desperate Farmer because I couldn't decide. Pick 9, someone took it, darn it. So someone took our black-green, which means we're competing with someone, which is not good. Because I specifically chose black-green because it gives us a signal of someone else we're fighting for. We have to pick the 2-drop. This doesn't have a way to flip, but it's a 2-mana 2/1, and we are light on 2-drops, and we need to make sure we don't die early. Gift of Fanes could be a kill spell. Could just not work because we have no vampires. So there are games where that will not work. We do not want that as our only play. Snarling Wolf, it can be a 3/3. It can hold them off at times. The other ones are not our colors. Yeah, just you tap 2 and you give it +2/+2, but it's a 1-mana 1/1. It's not really for what this deck wants to be. Massive Might, I'll keep that around, but I think that goes on my sideboard because it doesn't fit what my deck wants to be. That's for aggressive green decks. Dreadfuge number 2. Alright, fine. Runebound Wolf. Henrika Domnathi. Oh my gosh, rewarded for my color combination. Alright, so this card is a 4-mana 1/3 flyer. At the beginning of combat, you choose one. One of them is to transform. The other is sacrifice to get rid of their big threat to sit at the cost of your small threats. Draw a card to lose a life, which is perfectly fine. Or you can flip it, Flying Death Touch lifelink, and each creature with Flying Death Touch and or lifelink gets +1/+0. We have a life leaker through Desperate Farmer, so that's actually good. So Henrika is a fantastic pickup for us. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah. That is definitely our pick. Grisly Ritual might be nice. Apprentice Sharpshooter might be nice. But that's really it. Maybe Cartographer's Survey, honestly. We're getting to that point where we need the lands, so pick that. Alright. Another Edgar's Awakening or a Hiveheart Shaman. So this one... So I could pick the Hiveheart Shaman and then sideboard in a color. I could splash a color. I have Evolving Wilds, I have Weaver of Blossoms, I have Honored Heirloom. This makes a splash even better, just a single land of a different color. And I think that's good enough. Otherwise, 4-mana 3/5 is a great body. Edgar's Awakening would be good. Again, I don't have any discard, and I'm just bringing back Flourishing Hunters. So, Flourishing Hunter is fantastic, no denying that. But I think I want to make sure I survive to that point, not have more advantage when I get to that point. So I'm going with a Hiveheart Shaman. Alright, Crawling Infestation, mills cards, gets me 1/1 tokens. Only happens during your turn. That's why. I know a lot of people have been hating on this card. I didn't know why. Because it has to go to your graveyard during your turn. Since we're going to be on the defensive most of the time, that's not going to happen unless we mill. And if we mill, there's nothing that really has value while in the graveyard. With the one exception being Edgar's Awakening. And we just can't rely on that. So, despite disliking it, this is either where we choose what color we're splashing, which Blood Petal Celebrant would be it with red, but I don't think we're splashing at all. Ooh, Brambleworm. Alright, so, enters the battlefield, gains B5 life, I can exile it from the graveyard, gain 5 life. This is... Oh my gosh, or Reclusive Taxidermist. I think with 3 Flourishing Hunters, I think we're good on life gain. So while Brambleworm is fantastic, Taxidermist adds mana, which helps me ramp into my amazing late game. It's a 2-drop. Like, I think this just does more for us. Brambleworm would be fantastic to see again, but we already have 3 Flourishing Hunters. And we get our Ancient Lumberknot! Okay, this was our big card. Assigned combat damage by toughness rather than power. With 2 Unhallowed Phalanx, we really wanted this. It didn't make it around, and now it is. Awesome. Alright, so again, my only worry is early game. That is it. So we're going with the Doom Dissenter just because it's a 1/1 that becomes a 2/2. Usually it's supposed to be used for exploit triggers. I'm just using it because it blocks twice before going away. Alright. So... we definitely have cards we're going to have to remove. We'll figure that out. Blood Fountain creates a blood token for if we need to use Edgar's Awakening. And it is reanimation in the late game. So this is a late game card that I get to play on turn 1. And it helps me cycle through my deck. So that was fantastic. Wolf Strike is a kill spell. If it's night, it deals more damage, sort of theme. Cartographer's Survey... or the Apprentice Sharpshooter. I'm going to go with the Cartographer's Survey. It gets me a land... well, actually, it comes into play tapped. Yeah, that actually works negatively with my Evolving Wilds. I'll put it on my sideboard. Edgar's Awakening number 2 made it around. Fantastic. Grisly Ritual's also a kill spell if I wanted that. How many kills do I have? I have Hero's Downfall. I have Death Touchers. I have Wolf Strike. Well, we already picked it seems. I'll side the Crawling Infestation. Sporeback Wolf? We have... oh, was there Sporeback Wolf in the previous pack? That was a mistake. Thank you. I should have taken the Sporeback Wolf. You're correct. Alright. Mind Leech. I thought there was a Mind Leech in that pack. Did I not grab the Mind Leech? Did the Mind Leech just disappear? Because I was grabbing around? I should have picked the Spore back, you're correct. So, now we have a lot of cards to remove. We want to remove the mid-game first, I think. We have a lot of 3-drops. Definitely didn't do the best when drafting this. Could have done better. Let's pull out the cards that are we're definitely playing full lands. I think we're playing Hiveheart Shaman, but we're not really splashing for it. If we did splash, it would have to be a single color. So it'd be like 1 red for Blood Petal Celebrant. Or no, it'd be 1 blue for the Scattered Thoughts. We have a lot of double colors, so I don't want to just splash 1 of every color for Hiveheart Shaman. I want to actually have my colors. I could definitely see myself removing an Unhallowed Phalanx. Even though we have some good payoffs with it, it is just a 5 mana 1/13. We definitely want 17 lands. Dreadfuge isn't good. Gift of Fanes isn't good for our deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm counting that 6, so we're good there. Aim for the Head could be okay. Crawling Infestation I don't really see. A lot of spells at 3, but this ramp is nice because it gets me to 5. Yeah, I'm actually liking the ramp. I don't want to remove the ramp. I'm going to get rid of the Aim for the Head. I do like getting to the late game and just winning there. Hiveheart Shaman I might just play as a 4 mana 3/5. I'm just trying to think if the attack ability is worth splashing in a color just for the possibility of Hiveheart Shaman. Apprentice Sharpshooter is my solution to flyers, so I'm going to keep it around for now. I definitely like the 3 Flourishing Hunters, 2 Edgars. I'm going to keep that, I think. Yeah, I might just pull out the Hiveheart Shaman. Like, this is not a bad card. It's just not for this deck, because it has to attack to get me lands, and I don't want to be attacking. 3. Alright, 3 more to remove. We'll remove another Dreadfuge. I think we do remove the Snarling Wolf, and trust that these 5 will be enough. Unless I want the Snarling Wolf over the Ragged Recluse. My only blood token is... yeah, there. So I'm going to remove the Ragged Recluse, keep the Snarling Wolf. And we just need to figure out what our 3rd drop is. It might be Desperate Farmer. I don't really have... like, I'm not trying to flip it. It's only a 2/2. This one can block a lot better and might be able to train one of these days. So I'm going to get rid of the Desperate Farmer, I think. That's definitely suspicious. Definitely suspicious, no denying that. Just kind of like a Golgari Dirtle deck. Yeah, green-black is kind of just like late-game value. So, 3 Flourishing Hunters. So I gain life equal to the Grace Toughness among creatures I control. I have a 1/13. I have a 1/4 that makes creatures assigned by toughness other than power. 1/3 that very quickly becomes a 3/4. And as Flying, Death Touch, and Lifelink. 1/4. 1/4 here. 1/5 that becomes a 2/6 very quickly. Yeah, the 1/13. This is just a fun little card. But with Catapult Fodder and Ancient Lumberknot, it actually has the power outputs. Then we have Glorious Sunrise, which can draw us cards. It can give creatures +1/+1 and trample if I need to finish them off. It could add green. It could make me add a ton of green. It could make me, it could gain me life. It could do a lot. The Blood Fountain acts as reanimation. I might pull out the Blood Fountain for another Unhallowed Phalanx, but I think just having the 1 Unhallowed Phalanx and blood tokens is probably just better, more consistent. I'm not going to need to flean 2 Unhallowed Phalanx with Catapult Captain. I'm only going to need 1, and having Flourishing Hunter behind it is fantastic. I think this is good. Double Unhallowed Phalanx was a fun little idea. If I had a second Ancient Lumberknot, I'd probably keep double Unhallowed Phalanx, but I'm good with where we are. Let's try it. Again, my concern is the early game. So we need to draw... Let's see. I think I mulligan this. Our first play would be on turn 4 if we draw... Like, basically, we need to draw a land. Until we draw a green land, we do not have a play. There, that's a much better combination of lands. And we're going to throw back the Flourishing Hunter. We have 2 more in the deck. Yep, green cards, but I have swamps. That's life. Alright, they have Evolving Wilds of their own. Weaver of Blossoms is acting as mana, so even if we don't draw mana, we can still play the Digraph Scavenger. We do have to exile a creature to gain the life and deal a life loss, but I'm okay with it as is. Wolf Strike's a nice little kill spell with Weaver of Blossoms. Alright, they're playing Black-Red. So, Black-Red is usually aggressive, which is why I hope Biney gets pressure soon. Alright. We're just playing a 2-3. Train to day 9 cycle. So they have to keep playing cards, or this will flip. And one of the things I could do, possibly next turn, is I can attack. Let day become knights, flipping it, and then Wolf Strike to kill something on their turn. Gluttonous Guess. They have no creatures in their grave, so Digraph Scavenger is not as good. Hoping for a land. Not a land. Alright. That being said, I'm okay with Doom Dissenter, Reclusive Taxidermist. This is going to give them some life. Gluttonous Guess, I hear, is a really good card, because it makes a blood token, turns it into life gain, and just basically gives you a lot of value. I am going to just Doom Dissenter and Reclusive Taxidermist. All they can do is sack the Wedding Invitation to attack in for 1 and gain 1, which is not worth the while without any advantage for gaining life. There is an uncommon that does give them an advantage for gaining life if they have it. Otherwise, we just kind of take it slow, let the game play out. If they attack with Gluttonous Guess, I will take 1. I am perfectly happy with that. Alright. Looks like we're getting to a board stall. And Unhallowed Phalanx is happy to see that board stall. Yeah, my deck is happy to see the board stall, so... Alright. This is actually going to be a good sacrifice trigger. Yeah, I'm going to sacrifice the Doom Dissenter, exile a card in their hand, and... I could wait till next turn so that this flips, but I think they're just going to play 2 spells, and that's just going to end poorly for me. So... Wait, I have 5 mana, thanks to the Reclusive Taxidermists. I could Unhallowed Phalanx right now, but then that leaves me very wide open. I'm going to Mind Leech Ghoul, and then I'll have a Wolf Strike available. So I have to exploit, which means I sack a creature. Doom Dissenter is perfectly happy to be sacrificed. So now I get a 2/2 black zombie. And they have to exile a card in their hand, so it's like a forced discard. And a good thing is it doesn't trigger cards like Edgar's Awakening. Alright. They discard. I'm gonna wait. No attacks. I forced them to discard a Ragged Recluse. Alright, so that could have been a 3/3. That could have been concerning. Yeah, I just want to slow this game down a lot, because I have, next turn I could play the Unhallowed Phalanx. And for the head, opponent exiles 2 cards from their hand. Oof. Alright, I'm going to keep the Unhallowed Phalanx around. That is a suspicious decision on my part. Might have wanted the Digraph Scavenger. The Wolf Strike, I just don't think I could have gone a target with it. And the Scavenger, there was just no creatures in the... I could exile my own creatures, can't I? Yeah, I could have exiled my own Doom's Dissenter. That would have been smart. Oh well. Oh well. I could play a Blood Fountain. Hold up the mana to flip it, but I think it's just... I have enough blockers. Let's just play Unhallowed Phalanx, lock down this board. That weird moment where you have 3 lands, but you probably have to blood away a land if you have the option. If they keep killing creatures, they have to make sure the Reclusive Taxidermist doesn't trigger, because I have a 4/4 just sitting in wait. They have 1 card left themselves. They do have the ability to fly this over. Alright. Honored Heirloom. Anything in their graveyard worth exiling? Not currently. Blood Fountain. Get myself a blood token. And we'll hold off. They get 1 attack with a Belligerent Guest, and then the card's gone. Whew. Wedding Security is a very strong card. It's gonna give them, like, if they get blood tokens with the Belligerent Guest, they will get 1. They could then use it to draw cards and have a big scary beater. I could reanimate. Yep. And they're doing on the Belligerent Guest as expected. So now this 3/2 gains them life, gives them a blood token, and they could attack with Wedding Security, sacrificing the blood token. Gain some value. Alright. I'm gonna blood away the forest, because we actually have enough land. I'm not even sure I want to play Snarling Wolf. I feel like flipping this might be more valuable. Flipping that, leaving this around so I can exile something if I need to. Yeah, this turns into a 3/4. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that here. I'm gonna turn it to night. They don't have enough cards to flip it back. Unless they get really lucky with this Wedding Security attack. I think I just block with a 1/13 and assume they're not gonna get enough blood tokens. I could block with the Mind Leech. Ew, my god! That might win them the game. So yeah, this card is a Mythic Legendary Bomb that if the board dirtles as it is now, it's going to win them the game. Because they're going to draw cards off of it. And, like, they lose a little life, but they're at 25. Well, that might just be game. We're going to get rid of just... Alright. Well, we could definitely stall this game out for quite a bit. I think I do play the Snarling Wolf now. It will flip back to day, but... No. We're going to actually leave it as is. Play Snarling Wolf later. Also, it threatens that I have a card in hand. But yeah, this Sorin is going to be an issue. Unless I can deal with it. I think the Flourishing Hunter just attacks in. If they block to kill, I could return it with Blood Fountain. So...
Blood for knowledge. A fair trade.
They're getting rid of their lands. And the Blood Celebrant's also great for them. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. I think I just play this and wait. And yes, I want to play this over the Snarling Wolf, because I don't want them to trigger Snoring again.
What's one more grudge?
I want to exile it. I'm going to attack with a Flourishing Hunter. I could... No, I'm not going to attack with it just yet. I just stabilize the board. I want to exile it with Honored Heirloom, just in case, but... Creature cards, thank God. And we exiled their creature. Perfect. If they attack with their Wedding Security, I kill it, and then I get it. I can't exile it because the Honored Heirloom tapped itself. I should have tapped the Reclusive Taxidermist actively. Oof. Yeah, they need to attack now. I'm not going to leave them with enough cards in their graveyard to... Alright. We have an Edgar's Awakening when I need it. Play a Snarling Wolf. And yeah, we now Dirtle. Their Dirtly win condition is in their grave. And I can exile it. And we win the Dirtle. If they kill my Flourishing Hunter, I could reanimate it, gaining another 13 life. This is the position we want to be in, everyone. I know this doesn't look like a good position, but trust me, it is. This is going to be a long game, just so you guys know. This game is going to be just a lot of us. Alright. Create 2 blood tokens. Good for them. They can't attack with Wedding Security. Because I could block with Flourishing Hunter. I mean, they can attack with Wedding Security, draw them the card, I kill it. As they try to trigger Blood Fountain, get it back, I exile it. If they attack with Doom Dissenters, I'm okay with that. Alright. They have no cards in hand for combat tricks, so I'm just going to block that with the Blossoming Werewolf. Alright, yep. They're looking for an answer. At the very least, they don't have right now. So safety measure, I'm double blocking this one. Make sure they can't make more blood tokens. There we are. And now what do they do? Because I'm assuming they sack with blood token. Yep. So now I exile. Where are you? Wedding Security. Awesome. So they only get the belligerent guest back. My turn. I can play Henrika, and I think that will start closing out the game. I want to actually tap the Reclusive Taxidermist for black. Draw a card and lose a life. Alright. And we have the Creature Exile if we need to. We have Sorin the Mirthless Exile if we need to. We have options. We have 3 mana open. Like, we have options. And we now have a flyer that's going to gain lifelink and death touch. Like, I'm going to transform this next time. I'm not going to make them sacrifice when they have Doom Dissenter in play. Bloody Betrayal. Alright. They get attack me with a 6/6. I think they're literally making that play so that they could get the blood token. I think that is the legitimate reason for that. Grisly Ritual Henrika. Alright. I have an Edgar's Awakening and the Blood Fountain. So I'll accept. They have a lot of blood. We know their hand. And Hallowed Phalanx just blocks this. And we're going to get rid of Sorin, so I don't have to worry about that in the future. Alright. How do I want to order this? I think I start with the Glorious Sunrise. Let's see, they have no cards in their grave that I need to really worry about. I have an Edgar's Awakening. I'm going to save the Edgar's Awakening. We have a Blood Fountain currently sitting out. So it's now, what do I want to do? I could draw a card, I could gain life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I give my creatures +1/+1 to trample, I could attack with a Flourishing Hunter, and they can't block it effectively. So I could start ending the game. Awesome. They'll be milling through their deck. They have 20 cards left to our 20. Yeah, we both have gone through half our deck. Block with both Doom Dissenters. Trying to get the 2/2s out, I'm assuming. I honestly don't care if I take damage. They do have creatures in the graveyard now if they have synergies with that, but... like, next turn I can play Flourishing Hunter, gain 13 life. Yeah, this is going to go very long. We're going to accept that as the case. If I get my Ancient Lumber Knot, I turn this into a 13/13. This becomes a 14/14 Trampler, and this game will be very short after that. But we assume that's at the bottom of our library. Wedding Invitation. Alright, they draw a card. And they're going to be able to create another blood token using Belligerent Guest, Wedding Invitation. But yeah, I'm just going to gain 13 life next turn. Alright, they are shifting through their deck very fast. Mill is about to become a win condition. And I think I just play to the mill win condition, honestly. They're at 25 life, it's constantly growing. And we can hold the board indefinitely. So, why not hold the board indefinitely? Let them make their blood tokens. Let them rip through their deck. Alright. Surprised they didn't concede right there. I'm just going to gain 3 life, I think. At this point, I just win the game by taking it slow. Alright, so sorry if this is going to be poor visuals. If anyone on YouTube, you could just skip through this afterwards. I'm perfectly acceptable with that. Like, this is a game that's going to be very long. Oh, thank goodness I played the Flourishing Hunter when I did. Exiled 2, so I can't even bring it back. Yeah, they use Ceremonial Knife and Belligerent Guest to get through their deck, but to what end? I only have 4 cards in my graveyard. I start exiling their graveyard. Doom Dissenter is out of here. Or I could just play Henrika. I have options. Let's see, they're at 13 cards. Yeah, I like Edgar's outs Henrika. And I do not want to draw myself out, so I'm only going to draw 1 card with Henrika. I'm going to transform Henrika, I think. I'll draw a card with Glorious if I want to. Yeah. Transform Henrika, gain 3 life. There we are. Let the game go on forever. I'm trying to think what card they could possibly... Is there a board clear I need to worry about? Even then, Blood founted back 2 Flourishing Hunters. Really, I just need to not play around board clears and stuff at this point. They're going to mill through their deck, looking for a win condition. They could... Yeah, they can make a ton of blood tokens. And I'm just worried about the fact that they'll mill out in a few turns. And Henrika's going to just keep gaining me life. Even if they have a board clear, I'm not sure they can get through 46 health in 10 turns. War of attrition, basically. And the blood tokens are literally milling them out. So, I'm sorry that this is how this deck played out. It's very slow. I recognize most people do not like that, but this is how it's going to be. Belligerent Guest is going to web invitation in for another 4 and 2 blood tokens. I'm okay with that. And we're going to exile the Skulking Killer, I think. Yep. Yeah, I'm attacking with Henrika just because of the lifelink, honestly. When I get the opportunity to. I'm assuming they're about to start blood sacrificing. But yeah, the two of us are at such high life totals. Really, if it's not through mill, it's just I don't see how we get through. Alright. Creates another blood token, and now they have a 3/3 haster. Let's get rid of a creature. Skulking Killer. Here it is. Gain 3 life. Gain 4 life. End the turn. This is a 3/4 now. Oh. A bot on YouTube. That's pretty uncommon for me to see. And if they kill my Flourishing Hunters, they literally... I could Blood Fountain them back for 6 life. Let's take out another creature. We have the Dawnheart Disciple and the Doomed Dissenters. I'm going to take out the Dawnheart. Gain 3 life. Attack here. Buff once. And we're saving this land so I don't... They still have something they think they need to play around. But at this point, I just don't see how they win. In 6 turns, they die. Make that 5 turns. Thank you, Wedding Invitation. They can't crack their bloods. Even if they get another use for blood cracking, it doesn't help them. They had 4 Wedding Invitations. But just like, it didn't matter because I got so much life gain. 2 Flourishing Hunters each gave me 13 life. And they have 3 cards left in their deck, so they have 3 turns to deal 56 damage. The only alternate win condition... There's no alternate win condition in this format. I was thinking Triska Decaphile, but that was... not this format. It's the previous one. Yeah, there are some alternate win condition in Lambo Droid. For example, I'm milling them, but yeah, there's no way... I see no possibility of them dealing 56 damage in the 2 to 3 turns they have left. If we count this turn, they have 3 turns left. Alright, see, they're trying to just deal more damage. That's why they're attacking with Sanguine Statuette. Taxidermist never had more than 2 creatures in the graveyard. There are 2 creatures in exile, though, so... You're gonna see their entire deck and how well it was put together. The moment I got rid of Sorin, this deck... They discard their Alluring Suitor. They didn't But Waiting Security did not come online until my Flourishing Hunters got online. And I don't think Lantern of the Lost makes it in your main deck. So I think just they had a Sorin and the Alluring Suitor, and they built a deck around it. Alright, let's see if we can kill them on the backswing, because they die next turn anyways. I couldn't kill them! We had so much health, I couldn't even kill them when they did no blocks. Oh. Oh. Anyways, the control element of this deck seems fine. We definitely don't need 2 Unhallowed Phalanxes. We only killed 4 creatures during that entire game. Oh my gosh. And 2 of them were Doomed Dissenters, they killed themselves. Evolving Wilds, into Doomed Dissenter, into Honored Heirloom, into Glorious Sunrise. And I think I want to play the Evolving Wilds. We're just gonna crack this now. I see no reason to hide the secrecy. I need the swamp. Alright. And yeah, I need to stop drawing lands now. But yeah, I could play Honored Heirloom into Glorious Sunrise, which, if nothing else, it gains me 3 life a turn. Ooh, that's scary. I could Honored Heirloom into Blood Fountain. I didn't even realize I could do that. Well, anyways, we are going to see the value of blood in removing away lands we don't want. But on another turn, this Foreboding Statue is going to become a 5/5, so I do need to get rid of it at some point. But I think Glorious Sunrise gain played early is going to be a higher priority. They should not exploit. They should not exploit. Alright, they exploited. I'm pretty sure I get a better... I get the winning deal out of that. Alright. So I could play Henrika, I could crack the blood, get something else, play Henrika, draw a card, then I could Glorious Sunrise, draw a card off of Glorious. Or I could just play Glorious, gain 3 life now. I think gaining 3 life isn't as important as drawing a card with Henrika, and this allows me to use blood tokens later. I'm going to draw a card for this first one. And I could use this and the blood token to discard a forest, draw a card. Alright, do they have a Grisly Ritual for this? If not, I'm going to get a Flying Death Touch Lifelinker, and Glorious Sunrise will give me card draw. Alright, I'll take 3. Mischievous Catgeist, okay. So I can't really attack with Henrika right now. That's okay. Alright. I think just playing the Flourishing Wolf, holding them back, could be worthwhile. I do want to transform Henrika before I do that, and then I'll play the Glorious Sunrise. Yeah, because if I Glorious Sunrise right now, it draws me a card. I need to stop them from drawing cards with Mischievous Catgeist. So let's first transform. We have a 3/4 Death Toucher. I think that's good enough. Alongside the Flourishing Hunter, gain us 4 life. All their damage is moot. When the Foreboding Statue turns into a 5/5, I will not care unless they have a Grisly Ritual for my Flourishing Hunter. If they kill both, I have a Blood Fountain trigger to get them back. Yep, so they flip it to a 5/5. I have an Edgar's Awakening now. Alright, I'm on Glorious Sunrise. So I can play Ancient Lumberknot using Glorious Sunrise, or... Let's see, I can play Ancient Lumberknot, I can draw a card. Drawing a card is just always better. Alright. They do have mana. If they have a threat, I will have some issue with that, but we're in a pretty solid spot. They're definitely mana flooded, so the Forsaken Thresher giving them mana doesn't really help much. I don't think they can really attack. Nope. Consuming Tide. We each choose a non-land permanent to return all others. They're going to choose the Forsaken Thresher. I could choose the Glorious Sunrise, play Flourishing Hunter, or I can choose Henrika, play Flourishing Hunter again. It's what do I want to play, how much do I care about tempo, that sort of stuff. I might play the... Let's see. I'll keep Henrika out. Gain more life off of Flourishing Hunter. Creatures in the grave? You know, I can... If they don't immediately equip their Mischievous Catgeist, I can exile it using Diregraph Scavenger. Feels pretty good. Alright. Oh, I see. They're going to try to put one of these creatures back on top of my library using Diver Scab. Makes sense. They sacrifice with Mischievous Catgeist. I'm assuming they return my Flourishing Hunter, which I'm okay drawing a 6/6, so... Yeah, I'll draw a 6/6. They then equip the Mischievous Catgeist on the Forsaken Thresher, and I kill it with Henrika since it has Death Touch. Alright. I can now Honored Heirloom. And with that 5 mana, I can decide whether I want I think I want a Glorious Sunrise first. Just start... I gain 3 life, which is the equivalent of blocking. So I'm happy to do that. Next turn, I could make one of my forests tap for triple green. So I could play Ancient Lumberknot and Flourishing Hunter, I think. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. So here comes the card draw. I'm assuming they have a reanimation card, and if they do, I need to consider what card is the most threatening if they reanimate. Alright, they milled 2 lands, which tells me nothing about what they got. We still have an Edgar's Awakening and a Blood Fountain. Standby. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. Witness the future. They pull off cards of their great back to their library. No creatures. Alright. Got it. Good to know. Because I was going to exile it with Diregraph Scavenger, but that doesn't seem to be feasible right now. Alright. I'm going to play Ancient Lumberknot. Then I'm going to next this. I'm going to do target land adds. Right? There we go. And we have the blood token. I'm not going to be using that blood token. I could always mill back Edgar's Awakening to bring back Henrika. Alright. Question is, do they exploit this Stitch Assistant, or do they just leave it around? Alright, they exploit it. I now have card draw with Glorious Sunrise. And they have Thrawns. Alright. I think I actually need to get rid of the Witness the Future. Because, the Witness the Future could allow them to go infinite and never run out of cards. which could stop me from milling them out. Which I hate to say, just looking more and more like the relevant win condition. Alright. Well, his first move, we're going to do this. We're going to draw a card. More Edgar's Awakenings. If I attack with this, they double block. I could Wolf Strike to kill them both. Do I want... Is that important enough? Yeah, I think so. There we are. I think it's more important leave the Honored Heirloom up to discard. And I think I am going to use a Blood Token, discarding Edgar's Awakening to bring back Henrika during this turn. They will have Throns. Thron. Alright, so they're exiling 2 creatures from the grave. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, I could not exile enough creatures to stop this card draw. So we let it happen. Cobble Lancer, exile another creature. Alright, so most of the creatures are exiling themselves, so I don't have to worry about the reanimation too much. Alright. And we want to exile the Witness the Future, just as a safety precaution. And then I'm going to... bring back Henrika. Alright. We have enough card draw, I think. I am just going to transform her. If I attack, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They do kill it, so no attacks right now. Do I Scavenger? Get rid of the Scav. Yeah, that's all that's in their grave, so... Let's do it. I'm kind of worried about board clear of some sort, but I'm trying to think what board clears are even in the format. And I have Blood Fountain and an Edgar's Awakening anyways. I will have a Taxidermist afterward as well. Scattered Thoughts. Alright. We are definitely... Our deck is built to play the long game, and we are playing long games. They keep dropping lands, which is good for them. Alright, they got their creatures back into their deck. Forgot about that. Alright, 16 to 12. I can attack with this. I'll gain a bunch of life in the process. Graveyard has no creatures in it. Yeah, we gain a bunch of life in the process. Like, we're gaining 4 as we deal the damage, and we're taking 2 on the backswing at most. And I could now exile Fiends with Honored Heirloom, Scared Thoughts if they have to somehow bring it back, and otherwise just their cards. Scared Thoughts again. Yeah, they're drawing through a lot of their deck. The Scattered Thoughts is usually a good card, but I am literally milling them, so... Glorious Sunrise is going to bring me to 40 health soon. I cannot kill the Mischievous Cat Guys in response, unfortunately. But even if they equip the Mischievous Cat Guys, I'm pretty sure that's bad for them because they're drawing more of their deck. But yeah, they have control right now. So if they pass priority, I will exile the Mischievous Catgeist. Which they just did. Alright, they have a Necroduality. Which sounds good. At the current moment. So now that the Wretched Thralls double up if they have any still in their deck. Self-Entomer. Alright, they have a lot of Entomers. Alright, this will immediately flip. That makes me happy. I think I'm just going to gain 3 life. They have 7 cards to 14. Nah, I'm going to draw cards. Drawing cards is always better than gaining life unless you're about to die. Next turn I have Henrika into Flame the Flourishing Hunter for lethal. They had a second Consuming Tide. There's nothing I can do with my mana, really. I need to just get the most expensive cards still on board, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to keep the Flourishing Hunter around. Alright, well they have 5 turns to deal 41 damage. I think that's going to be a little hard for them, despite all the value they have. Alright, land. Start with Glorious Sunrise. I think I'm going to Henrika just so it can transform. Alright. So, transform Henrika. Target land gains add 3 green. No attacks. Then we honored Heirloom. Snarling Wolf. Blood Fountain. Alright, I'm at 41 health. I have Henrika again. They have no creatures in the graveyard for Scavenger. Yep. No creatures for Scab. Oh, that's supposed to be from attacking with Henrika. Nice on their part. So many cards, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. They're all tapped out mana-wise. That's very important for us. Because now I could just block with Henrika here. Block with Flourishing Hunter here. And I think I kill the Wretched Thrall and Snarling Wolf. And so I gained life off of that attack. Alright, they had no Wretched Thralls left, or they know better than to green it back. I am going to discard the land? Or the taxidermist, actually. Probably should have discarded land, but Who cares? We now have an archer. Awesome. They now have creatures in the grave. So this will come into play, gain me life. As I get rid of Wretched Throm. Play the Apprentice Sharpshooter to block flyers. Play Catapult Fodder as... Oh. Alright, hold up. I'm going to use this, turn this to add triple green. No attacks. Tap this, and one. Play Lumber Knot. I kind of want a Catapult Fodder, but I'm actually going to leave up the Honored Heirloom in case they have that card to shuffle back to their deck. So now I have a 4/4 reach. 9 Leech Gold. Alright. They sacrifice their Bioloom Egg. I will exile my... Yeah, so I'll exile my Swamp. And if they do another one, I will exile Edgar's Awakening at this point. Yep. Yep. I wonder how absurd that moment when they realized that I was sitting on another reanimation spell the entire time. I gained life of that attack once more. Showing that they're not thinking through their decisions. Glad I left my blood fountain around. That's why they were adding white. Cool. Let's get our Flourishing Hunter and our Henrika. Alright. Cannon Fodder. Flourishing Hunter. Gain 5 life. Henrika. Alright, with Henrika, I think I just transform her. And with this, I think I just gain life. Yep. Just make sure that there is no chance they can get out of this. They have 2 cards left in their library. Alright. They have some exploits. So, one Diverse Scab exiled itself. I'm happy to draw Henrika again. The other one... Ooh, is this the... So, there is... Alright. Flourishing Hunter? Yeah, I'm happy to draw Flourishing Hunter again. I'm at 57 health, so have fun, gain through. Alright. So I could play this, draw a card, play Henrika, I believe. Oh, I can play this, draw a card, play Henrika, and the Diagraph. Awesome. Actually, no, I'm just going to gain life. Just make sure I'm truly unkillable. Exile the other Skywrap Scab. And next turn, this flips with Henrika, and we just chuck it at face for lethal. We chuck the Flourishing Hunter at face for lethal. So... And they'll also have one card left in their deck, so... Not really much they can do. Alright. I'm at 64 health. They had the Consuming Tide and Path of Peril. They had quite some good removal. I should note that. Exile the Consuming Tide. Transform. Draw a card. And flip. To get a deck with these two, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I have 9. I have enough to play the other Flourishing Hunter and fling it at their face. So, oof. We dry, and in response, I fling the Flourishing Hunter because that's the only card in their hand. They also had one card left in their deck, so it's like. I'm not sure if you hear that. My dog is freaking out. Alright. We have Swamp into Taxidermist into... If I get a land, I have 1, 2, 3... Let's see, I have 1, 2. I have 3 draws at a land to get myself the Honored Heirloom. And then I have 2 Flourishing Hunters, but I can't play them in time. I have to keep this one. I just realized that was a Taxidermist on turn 2. That was actually more mana, even. Alright. We're going to play the Sporeback Wolf first, because it's a better blocker. And, we can play Taxidermist next turn. Taxidermist can ramp us into Scavenger if they... Yeah, I'm okay trading with the Panic Buy Stander. Alright. This is unfortunate. The Markov Purifier is a big card that I do not like seeing. I might just Glorious Sunrise, start gaining life, and dirtle this game into oblivion again. If they attack, I'm killing the Panic Bystander. If I knew that my next card was a land, I'd be more than happy to block the Reclusive Taxidermist and double block Sporeback combo, but I have no guarantee. Also, my opponent's playing 3 colors. He circles up the Taxidermist. Yeah, I'm not blocking that. I'm playing the Scavenger even if I don't have a creature to pull back with it. Yep. Next turn I could Glorious Sunrise, and then I start just attritioning them. They are pretty low on cards already. Edgar's Awakening can pull back some big threats as it comes by. I should have just kept the last hand, I think, though. But... oh well. They are 3 color. They did get their colors on the ground immediately, so that was good for them, but... whew. Nice. Alright. Yeah, I can't respond to that. I think I have to Glorious Sunrise and just... This is giving them card draw now, and I can't do anything about that. Yeah, I just... Way too slow at the beginning. And now I'm getting punished heavily. I think I have to unhold Hollowed Phalanx to try to slow them down, which sounds stupid, but now we have a lot of issues. We have a lot of issues. That Lantern Flare did a lot for them. Yeah, I feel like this was just a bad draw. We had to mulligan. They had an Exile from our Close Taxidermist. They had a kill spell for there. Like, they just had too many solutions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're not dead yet. We're getting close, but we're not dead yet. And they now have a card draw engine. Alright, at the very least we could start gaining life, but not at any proper time frame. Yeah, this is just not looking good. So basically next turn we have to draw one of our 3 Flourishing Hunters. So that our Unhallowed Phalanx can do the job they need to do. 1, 2, 3. And I have to block a trainee. Or I have to let the Markov Purifier get through, basically. Yeah, we just got, as far as I care, we got a very unfortunate start. You know, if we draw the Flourishing Hunter, we can actually come back in this game. How amazing is that? Get forced. Alright. They have no creatures in the grave. Alright. I'm going to Edgar's Awakening, bringing back Diregraph Scavenger. As it comes back, I'm going to go into my own graveyard to exile the Sporeback Wolf to gain myself some life. We're going to gain 3 life here. Let's see. I could kill the Markov Purifier, but will leave me at 1 health. If they attack with all and assuming nothing changes. That is a big assumption. I honestly think this was just... Yeah. We're doing a good start. And as you can see, Phalanx, even though it's a big butt, it doesn't actually block successfully. And that's game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Alright. We played a little slow. We had to mulligan. They had a big start. They had kill spells. They had answers. Yep. Happens. Happens. Alright. We have an Apprentice Sharpshooter, which can block. And I've been punished for not keeping these hands. So... here we are. And now I can actually look threatening if I'd like. Alright. Yeah, so they might have been had a counterspell, but I would have been okay with that. If I really want to draw land here. We have not drawn our lands yet, any lands yet. We've had 3 draws of 0 lands. But we've had okay draws, so it's not too bad. Alright. Awesome. So now I can pump the Snarl Wolf, attack with both. This is a 2-5, this is a 3-3. They'd have to double block. I get to kill the Flame Breather. So I'm happy with that. So if they double block, kill the Flame Breather. Otherwise, they just can't stop the damage, really. I mean, they can punt to block, but the Apprentice Sharpshooters gain bigger, and it's going to keep getting bigger. 2, 3, 4. And I'm holding up a Pump spell as a threat. I don't actually have one, but... Alright, so they double block as I thought they would. I get to kill the Flame Breather. I get to kill the Flame Breather. That's a trade I am happy to see. I now have a 2-fly reach. I do need to draw a land so I can Glorious Sunrise next turn. If I can't Glorious Sunrise, I'm in trouble. Because if I draw like a Flourishing Hunter or one of my 5-drops next turn, this thing flips, and a 6/6 that attacks each turn if able is quite threatening. Alright, they had another Flame Breather. This thing has Defender, so it's not flipping around. Probably sacrificing the Flame Breather. Nope. Alright. I'm just going to gain 3 life. And no attack it. And now we are entering board stall. And looking at my hand, I think I'm in a little better position in board stall scenario. The Weary Prisoner flip will be scary, but I will have a Flourishing Hunter to block it. Then I will have an Edgar's Awakening to bring back the Flourishing Hunter, hopefully. Alright. Flops me for 1. Just discards lands, tells us very little about what they drew, other than it's better than... Like, it could be... They could have had 4 lands if they just chose 2 lands. I'm okay with a Swamp, because then I could actually use Glorious Sunrise to draw a card. And I would have Edgar's Awakening available. Zestral Inger, turning that into a 4/2, but they have no mana to pump it any further. So... I block it with Apprentice Sharpshooter. Alright. So now I get to play Flourishing Hunter, gain 5 life. And this gets to allow me to draw a card. And I see no point in attacking. I could start turning the Sharpshooter into a 3/6. 1, 2, 3. They'd have 6 damage precisely. So probably not the best play. Ooh, 1, 2. They have 6 damage precisely. I can +1/+1 and trample, and get in for some serious damage. Or I could just keep going for the card advantage system. Play a Flourishing Hunter, draw a card. Flourishing Hunter, draw a card. They're eyeing my Flourishing Hunter. My guess is they have a kill spell for it, which means I will want to draw. I will want to Flourishing Hunter before I trigger the card draw, because they can, in response, bounce my Flourishing Hunter back to my hand, and make me not draw the card. So... Oh, never mind. Oh, now Stitch Assistant has flying. But they don't realize my Apprentice Sharpshooter has reach. I'm not going to hover over my Sharpshooter. I don't want to give them the hint. Will they do it? Because if they block, I'm pretty sure that's good game. I mean, if they attack, it might just be a GG. The Geralf is definitely really strong. Alright. So do I attack with all of them? Okay, so they have not much damage. So I think I like... I only have a Snarling Wolf in the grave? Alright. Wait, hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to draw a card. Gonna attack like that. Train it. Make it bigger. They can't deal 6 damage, so the Apprentice Sharpshooter is sticking around. And I'm going to play another Flourishing Hunter to gain more life. They take 9. Alright. And I'm now at 32. Late game. Late game. Next turn, I'll probably get the trample damage with Glorious Sunrise. But right now, yeah, drawing cards. It's free card draw. We had an enemy opponent that had 2 board clears, so I'm trying to think what board clears. There's the blue one, Consuming Tide. If they do that, I think I leave the Glorious Sunrise in play because it can act as mana ramp. And then we can play a Flourish. And then, yeah, you can play like Sharpshooter, Dissenter, all that stuff. Alright. Alright. So the game's still a 4/4 flyer. 1, 2, 3, 4. They will have some good blockers or some good damage dealers. If I attack with all, I'm not sure how they would block to survive. Yeah. I think I just attack with all and they don't have a good way to block and survive. Unless they get some big important card now. So I think I'm going to do my attack. They're at 9 health. Apprentice Sharpshooter becomes a 4/7, attacks as a 5/8. These two become 7/7 Tramplers with Glorious Sunrise. Edgar's Awakening brings back a Flourishing Hunter if they kill it. Otherwise, Catapult Fodder, Blood Fountain is great. Alright, they do have a lot of mana left open, but I'm going to say they don't have it. They have 2 cards left in hand. And my double Flourishing Hunter makes this still a threatening play nonetheless. Especially when they're at 9 health. And I'm at 31. There you go. And they all have Trample, which is a huge aspect that makes this very threatening. Because they're only at 9 health. And this is basically... Well, this doesn't win me the game. It applies enough pressure that it becomes... Like, they need to really have answers right now. Or else I am going to win the game in a very destructive way. I think they have a Lunar Rejection. They've been playing as if they have Lunar Rejection. They're actually paying to get the Apprentice Sharpshooter instead of the Flourishing Hunters. That surprises me. Double block. Alright. I will kill the flyer. And I think I just Edgar's Awakening it back. Like, I could Catapult Fodder, Apprentice Sharpshooter and stuff, but this gains me 7 health, makes the big threat once more. Yep. Yeah, it's just like, that puts so much value that just, they can't... I'm still applying pressure, I'm now gaining so much value, they have no real solution. Alright. If I wasn't going first, I'd keep this hand, but I have 2 draws at a land. Because I could have gone land, Honored Heirloom. Like, if I wasn't going first, I'd keep that hand. Do I mull back the Blood Fountain or the Flourishing Hunter? That is the question. I think the Blood Fountain, because it can create blood tokens, I keep it around. I can draw late game. And this makes more late game. So this is the better late game and the early game. Keep 6, throw back Flourishing Hunter. We have 3 more to draw. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we've had to mulligan twice. Or multiple times with this deck so far. So that's definitely a concern we're running into. But it's due to land issues, and we have 17. So... We attack first. Then we play Honored Heirloom. And I'm going to sacrifice the blood to gain rid of the swamp if they do nothing. Well, that ain't good. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7 lands. And 1, 2... Yeah, I just did not expect I was going to draw only lands, to put simply. Now they have 5 mana. They want more mana instead of a 5/6. Interesting. Well, they can play a 4-drop now. But yeah, this is why you want blood, because when you have these hands that are all just lands, you can actually do something about it. I just assumed I would draw into more of my late game. Alright. So they play another Blossom-Clad Werewolf, and they just like, oh yeah, if you flip around, then... Alright, we're playing Cannon Fodder. At the very least, it keeps them from flipping again. And it allows me to block a 2/3. Oh my gosh, and that's game. I'm pretty sure that's just game. Unless I get Hero's Downfall, that's game. Yep, so they had Toxrill, which is one of the best, best bomb rares in the format. Like... That just... Game's over. Block with this 1/1 because it's gonna die. Anyways. And now they have these slugs, which they can actually turn into card draw because they have mana of any color. Can't play Snarling Wolf, it will die instantly. Even if I pump it, when the next turn comes over, it becomes a 0/0, it dies before I can pump it again. Yep, this is what I'm talking about. They still have card draw. So they have card draw, they had Toxrill. Not much I could do. And I don't have a board clear in this deck. So unless I draw Hero's Downfall, the game's already over thanks to Toxrill. This is a mythic bomb, so I'm not too surprised that that won them the game. What I'm surprised is they had it. I might just play the Snarling Wolf to... So it gives them another 1/1 they can sacrifice for card draw. But it prevents these from flipping, which is too damn... I don't think that's significant enough. Alright. Well, we also mulliganed, and we face this. So I think if you're gonna mulligan... Like, as I said, always good to get your bad luck linked together. So, and yeah, we're blocking because Catapult Father dies at the end of turn anyways. So... And we're playing this just because, as you can see, we're dead on the crackback if we don't bring our creatures back into play. 7, yeah. And we even discarded a land. 8 of 16 in the top 20, in the top 13. We're going to bring these back because we need to spend the mana. We need to actually do something with our mana. But yeah. As you can see, we're dead several times over. Play Doom Dissenter because at least it gives me a blocker, even if it gives them a lone one. that's game. Yeah, if you just attack with everything, the game's over. I'd be very surprised if I'm not dead here. I'm not even going to give him a good game. That was just a slaughter. Yep. Got out an early talk swirl, and I just drew lands and lands and lands. Alright. I mean, we've mulliganed like 3 times, and every time we've lost because of... Not exactly because of it, but we've mulliganed 3 times and lost 3 times. Like, I know that this is a very slow hand, but... Alright. And I can't think of anything I want to discard right now. I might discard the Edgars in the future, but not yet. Weaver of Blossoms will be my first play. I'm okay with that. Next will be a Henrika. If they let it flip, do I make my next play Unhallowed Phalanx? That's a big question. I think no. I think the Lantern Bearer says Henrika is still the play. Alright, so this is a nice little combo. Get a flyer, pump it up while gaining life. Ooh, Griff Rider is good with that. Yep. Alright. Yeah, Henrika's flying actually makes it a better blocker than Unhallowed Phalanx. Drawing a card the first turn. Weaver of Blossoms didn't block anything? Sure. Like, there's nothing it can block, so... I will block with Henrika. If they combat trick, I can Edgar's Awakening it back, draw a card in the process. If they have, yeah, if they lock anything down with the Sigarda's Imprisonment, it actually does not affect me, which is cool. Guess Henrika allows me to sacrifice it. Ooh, smart. No creatures in the grave. I think I'm going to have to block with Weaver of Blossoms, tap it, and sacrifice the blood to discard my forest. I think Henrika is too good of a creature on block. Prevents them from attacking very easily. Unhallowed Phalanx is going to be a nice little stopgap. At least it should be. And yes, I'm happy blocking the squad with Weaver of Blossoms. Giving that trade. Alright. And I recognize they are very likely holding a combat trick. I just don't care. Yep, there it is. And I'm going to use this. Get myself proper land. I still gain 3 life in the process. Alright. They have a creature in the grave, so... Or I could just Henrika. Let's see. I could Doom Dissenter and Diregraph Scavenger this turn. They can't buff this up. I can exile their Resistance Squad. Gain myself some life. Get myself some ground pressure. Then I can Edgar's Awakening this back. Sacrifice the Doom Dissenter. Cause something to die on their side. I think this just puts more tempo, and I need a little more pressure right now. They have enough to exile an attacking creature, so I actually will not be attacking with the Unhallowed Phalanx. I want this Unhallowed Phalanx around. And if they kill Henrika a second time, well, we have the Blood Fountain. Yep. Alright, so they tap out. They have a second Griff Rider. That's actually very scary. I mean, I'm bringing back Henrika. Question is just, which one do I use first? Draw a card, lose a life, sacrifice a creature. If I make them sacrifice a creature, to what end? If I make me draw a card, I can't really play much. If I transform it, they pump the Griff Rider and attack, and I can't block. I'm going to do sacrifice. Why not? But yeah, they just... Basically, the problem right now is they have a full airborne team, and Henrika isn't enough to deal with the entire airborne squad. The Adamant Will came into play. The other effects are going to come into play. Henrika wants to get some value before it blocks. Now they can't train. I will take 6 damage. I recognize that's painful. But I will be flipping Henrika and gaining some life on the back end, is the plan. Guidingly Ancestor. Alright. And I get a hold of Hero's Downfall for however they use the Griff Rider. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No attacks. So if they have like some combat trick for this, I get a block. Add another Adamant Will. I get a kill it in response. I do not gain life, but I stop their life gain. Yeah, so they pump that. If they only attack with this guy, then I'm just going to Hero's Downfall it. Awesome. I have 2 creatures in my graveyard if I want to use the Blood Fountain, but I think I want to save it for a Henrika maneuver. Yeah, because next turn, even if I draw a land, I could just double pump Henrika, gain 5 life, and deal 5 damage. They do get the Lantern Bearer trigger, though, if I do that. I don't think I can block with I can attack with Henrika right now. Yeah, I'm not attacking with Henrika because they have that combat trick laid out. That being said, Diregraph Scavenger is in a great place to attack. And the thing is, if they use their spell to kill this, if they use their thing that can kill it, I actually get to reanimate it and play it in the same turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright. I can even use Henrika to pump this up, but I don't think that's important right now. They do not have a combat trick unless they just drew it. That's as big of a combat trick as it needs to be. Biolume Egg, yep. Basically, they just had tempo, I did not, and that's it for the game. I think the game's over. How do I win this? If I put this on the top... Yeah, if I put it on top, I'm dead. So I have to actually put it at bottom. Which is very unfortunate. Can I... Do I have to bring these 2 back? I think... Yeah. I don't like it, but... I need some sort of value. I need something. And, like, I'm not saving those for the late game. If I can get my Flourishing Hunter, which I have 3 of in the deck, I could gain enough life to probably stabilize. Well, let's see if they somehow don't see it. That's my only play. Somehow they don't see it. Yep, well, Flyers did us in this game. Bad Draws did us in the previous game. Like, I don't know what else to say. Flyers did good. Flyers did good. Yep, and they know my hand, so they're just going to swing in. And that's lethal. Yep, we played a dirtily deck, and we won just attritioning them out, but it's like... It's kind of funny, because it was never that we had the cards of our late game stuck in our hand. It was always, we have too many lands, we don't have enough card draw. That might have been it. We don't have enough card draw. We had one blood token, and our card draw is Glorious Sunrise, which, yes, repeatable, but only one card if you don't get it. Henrika Dumnathi, we couldn't find times to draw a card and lose a life. We had to keep using it as a blocker. Yeah, no card draw. That was definitely the death knell. It wasn't even early game, I don't think. Yeah, no, it was just no card draw. Late game with no card draw. I think that was actually the kill shot. But we got 3 wins. We basically made back our money, so... In the end, it was okay, but that was definitely... I felt like we could have done better. Like, we had Henrika, we had Glorious Sunrise, we had late game value. I don't know. Like, in one game, we could have done better against, we could have probably prepped more against Flyers. In another game, we could have, drawn, like, honestly, in several games, we could have just drawn better, because we had to mulligan multiple times. And even if we didn't mulligan, they were moving out at, like, we just did not have card draw. If we drew all lands, we just drew all lands quite many times. Yeah. Definitely that last game, I don't think I played perfectly. There were definitely decision points I made that I should have done elsewhere. But I think I did fine. Alright. I think I played against the destroy target attacking creature a little too hard. I think I needed to attack in a lot more with Henrika. Alright. Just really quick, see my decks. Runo Stormquirk, that's a great meme, but it's not a real card as far as I can tell. Vampire's Vengeance seems pretty good. Alright. Cemetery Illuminator. Ooh. So, the Illuminator deck is pretty fun. Someone made like a blue-green Illuminator, I think it was, or was it blue-red? They made a Illuminator deck that seemed pretty cool, and it seems like a really good card. Dorothea seems pretty cool. Alright. Well, that's our cards. We went from Silver Rank 4 to Silver Rank 3. Hey, that's pretty nice. That's something. That's progress. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day.